The Empowerment Show aims to equip individuals with the necessary tools, knowledge, and confidence to make informed decisions and take control of their lives. It also focuses on ensuring access to essential resources and the opportunities.
Hey everyone, this is Carlottaane'Th for the Diamonds in the Rough show. This is a new platform for me. I just wanted to come on here and introduce myself. I'm not going to stay too long, just going to do a little introduction. First, I want to give a shout out to my favorite guy lately. His name is Kendall Stevenson. He is the CEO and founder of the Empowerment Show. This is his network, and I'm so happy that he chose me, and I'm praying that he will do exceedingly above all he can imagine. So I wanted to shout him out and say thank you. Thank you so much, Kendall, for allowing me to be on this show. I wanted to come on and just introduce myself, share some things about me, so that when you start when you start visiting, when you start viewing viewing the show, you'll know what you're getting. First and foremost, I am a mother of seven. God gave me 7 beautiful children. Um, I directly had 7 children, and then I have 2 bonus children. I have grandchildren, 10 altogether, 5 from my bonus and 5 from my bonus children and 5 from my children that I birthed, um, and 2 bonus great grands. I have a whole host of nieces and nephews. I have godchildren, and so that's my personal life. That's something that I adore. I love my children and I love my grandchildren. I am also a veteran of the United States Armed Forces, just like Kendall Stevenson. Thank him for his service. I have been a teacher for the past 10 years, on and off. I have been working towards my degree, my master's, and my doctorate as a child therapist and just a therapist and a counselor, period. I am an elder in my church, also a counselor in my church. And I do a lot of community work, going around. I talk to the youth in the area. We do evangelism in the area. We wanna know what it is that they need, what they're missing, and also give them God at the same time. I go to the nursing home, and I just started that. I used to do that, when I lived in North Carolina, but now I'm here, in Pennsylvania, back again because this wasn't my first home. My first home, let me just say, is New York City. I'm born and raised in Flushing, Queens. Um, I've lived all over New York City. And I decided when I joined the military, that I would branch out. Of course, I branched out to a lot of different cities, a lot, no countries, but a lot of cities. I've been all over the state, all over the United States, and so that's basically where I've been, and that's God's will, not mine. I have done a lot of evangelism. So this is what I'm doing here in Pennsylvania, evangelizing and helping people. What I mainly do is help people heal from trauma. I have an organization. It's called Get Your Mind Movement, which has programs that I offer, which is called Killing the Trauma Blues. Also, I wrote a book called Killing the Trauma Blues and Killing the Procrastination Blues. And what we talk about and what we're doing is to help the Black and Brown community, to acknowledge what they've been through, deal with what they've been through in their lives, and I mean trauma, and then eventually walk into the season of healing. This is not an easy walk. Some people heal right away and some don't. It took a long time. For some people, it took a long time to get through the trauma, and to get away from the trauma. So sometimes it doesn't take a long time to heal from it. It takes time. So what I teach is how to get away from the trauma. What tools they need. What we can use. Journaling, talk therapy, all types of avenues that we can enter into to help people to heal from trauma. And so this is my little spiel thing is with trauma, with that without acknowledging trauma, trauma comes back again. It doesn't go away. It comes back. So when I say that, I mean that if you've been through trauma and you've never acknowledged it, and then something happens later on in life, as you grow older, especially when we're young, when we're children and we get older, and then something happens in our life as we get older, that same trauma is like revisited it because we never acknowledged it. And now we're dealing with that trauma and the new trauma and still not acknowledging and still just tossing it in the garbage can or pushing it under the rug, as they used to say, and then trying to keep on going. And it makes us become toxic. We become toxic to our family members, toxic to people, period, and even toxic to ourselves. And so my job and what I want to do is help people not to do that, to acknowledge that trauma, even from far back years and years ago. I also teach that from the Bible, that our trauma starts from there. When Adam and Eve, and everybody might not believe what I'm saying. Everybody might not agree with what I'm saying, but this is what I come up with, and it's history. It's research that I've done, and so many theologians have discredit, tried to discredit um, the Bible, but finding out that it's real. And so what I learned is that our trauma started back from Adam and Eve, and and on learning that, what I researched is that intergenerational trauma comes from our DNA. DNA remembers trauma. When I learned that, it was amazing to me. How can our DNA remember? But it can, because of our ancestors down through the years and years and years and years and thousands of years, hundreds of years, um, millions of years ago, up until now. Those traumas still live in our DNA. And so when they're not acknowledged, because of all that went through from the time that Adam and Eve were created and made up until now, even after Jesus came and eradicated sin by dying on the cross for us, we still have those traumas. They're still there. We're forgiven, our sins are forgiven, but if people don't know that their sins are forgiven and they don't walk in that, they still live in a toxic environment when it comes to their life. And once we decide to acknowledge those things, then we can move forward and not be toxic. And so that's what I teach. Um, I just wanted to come on and just share a little bit. I am a trauma coach, like I said. I have a movement called Get Your Mind Movement. It helps the Black and Brown community take back their peace of mind, helping with providing self guidance and through positive, mindful thinking. Like I said, journaling, talk therapy. I also created a healing vision board program where some of the ladies and we come together. I bring them together and we sit and we put vision boards together. Now, these vision boards are not normal vision boards. These vision boards are based on what we have been through in life. Any traumas that we have experienced, anything that trauma pertaining to sexual abuse, pertaining to abuse, period, child abuse, job abuse, because we have job abuse. People don't realize that, but people bully on the job. Um, we have bullying in the neighborhoods. I experienced the bullying in the neighborhoods, and didn't know that that was real, but it was real for me. And when I put it out there, I realized that and other people have been through the same thing. And really, it stems back from, let's go to Arkansas, right, where the Black Wall Street happened. You know, that was bullying. They went through a bullying that you can't even imagine, um, um, going through something like that. And so we need healing from that. Many people need healing. And so that's what I do, focus results. That's what I look for. Um, I want people to heal from every single thing they've ever been through. If they've never acknowledged it, if they never look even decided to look at it, they just took it and put it in a box and threw it and put the box in a closet. If they, skirted it under the rug, we want to get it from under the rug, take it from under there, burn it, and so that it will never be seen again. Burning it it symbolizes that I've acknowledged and I'm done with it. I'm finished with it, and now we can burn it. Now we can singe it, and we'll never see it again. So that's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to share. Also, I am an author and a writer, and I'm talking a lot. I've been waiting for my guests to come, but which is okay. But I also wrote 2 books. I wrote really 4 books, but 2 that are on the way being published. One has already been published, and it's called Her Story. It is my story. It is my story. And right now I want to take a break. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back, and I'll come back and I'll tell more about this story. Thank you. Hi everyone, I'm back again. It's me, it's Carlottaane'Th with the Diamonds in the Rough show, um, hosted by the Empowerment Show. I just wanted to come back and just continue what I was talking about. Um, I want to say I love that commercial break. I love it. It shows, you know, them taking care of their bodies, but also showing off their bodies. And just to just to say that it is good to use exercise, training, going to the gym as a way of healing from trauma as well. And I talk about that in my book. So as I said in my book, I wrote a book called Her Story, and it is my story, but it is a fiction. I made it a fiction because I did not want to divulge anyone's names. So the names are not real. They are fictional names. Some names people might know, but they're not directly connected to the story that is being told. All of the events that have happened in that book are true. I just did a little bit of of creative writing, but it is my story and it tells what I've been through in life. I also wrote a book again called Killing the Trauma Blues, Killing the Procrastination Blues. And I wrote it because um, with um, with um, with the trauma comes procrastination. We tend to, when we have trauma, we tend to take on other attributes of negativity in our life, which is procrastination. And some people say that procrastination is positive, but it is not. When you delay anything, that is not positive. When you delay doing things that are important to you or important to others, it is not positive, and it causes a problem in people's lives. And then some people don't understand that the procrastination comes from things that have happened in their lives, when connected to the trauma in their life. Someone has trauma with a car accident. Some people um, will procrastinate on purchasing a car, procrastinate on getting into a car, procrastinate on um, on anything that has to do with vehicles. People that have been abused as a child, um, they procrastinate with certain things that come in their adulthood. They don't spend time with other people. They have a problem, um, people touching them. I was watching a show the other night called The Good Doctor, and the young man, his father, abused him as a child, but it wasn't abuse that the father wanted to abuse his child. The abuse was because his son died, and he didn't know how to deal with the other son because of him being autism autistic as a doctor. And so it was very hard for him, and it's very still very hard for him to allow people to hug him or even show any kind of emotion at all. And so this is this for him is a direct connection to the trauma that he experienced with his dad after his brother died. So we want to be healed. We want to be set free. I'm not going to talk too much longer. I was unable to get my guest to come on, and that's okay because I could talk. With that being said, I'm not going to stay on. I'm gonna take my leave. But I want everyone to know that that with movement comes change, and with change comes movement. And I hope to see you again. God bless you all. Bye.